Hello and welcome to episode 96 of the Disney Park Princess podcast. I'm your co-host, Sarah.
I'm Heather.
I'm Sharla.
You waited until the last minute there.
That was a very late point, I will say. Yes, that was a very late point.
I didn't see the point, so I just assumed she was going, and that was it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Writing down one of my attractions is for Epcot, so I didn't forget to say it.
2 years, people, 2 years. We have not figured this out yet.
I hope we never do. So
anyway, happy second anniversary.
Yay!
So you each have, Sharla already got hers, but Heather's, yours should be there in just a couple of hours. So there are presents.
I know.
I love presents.
There are presents. Yes. And I got one for myself too.
And I love it. I can't, and I'm not going to say what it is because Heather has a
Actually, Heather, cover your eyes. Don't look, because then Sharla can show it. And that
Okay,
way
hold
they
on,
can see,
hold
but
on.
you won't know how to cover your eyes.
I might fall asleep and take a nap if
All
you
right.
take too long.
Ta-da. Okay, put them away. Okay.
beautiful. Okay.
Oh.
I didn't see anything.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Sharla, you weren't fast enough.
All right. Well, I have to roll, and I have to roll with a bum ankle, so
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
it's so much better today. And I walked a mile yesterday.
Hey,
So
all
something-
right.
We're getting there.
So this is our second anniversary. 2 years ago today, Disney Park Princess, our website debuted. We're super excited that we're still here and that you guys are still listening. It's been a ride, the last few months in particular. It's been fascinating. Doing this during a pandemic and when we don't even really have the option to go to Disney.
It's hard to do a Disney podcast when there's nothing to talk
Yeah.
about with Disney.
Yes, but we soldier on. So, and we thank you guys for sticking with us. And as a way to thank you, we have a couple of different announcements, right?
Yeah.
Sharla, why don't you tell them about the giveaway?
We're doing a giveaway. So
Presents for you all.
yes,
Right,
so
presents for everybody. Well, not everybody. Presents for a winner.
presents for like one person, maybe two, but
Yep.
we'll see. We're going to give away some stuff, newly created Disney Park Princess merchandise.
Yay!
Which that's our next announcement. Sorry for the jumping ahead, but we are going to give away one of each thing that we have created in our Teespring store, and more information will come out in the email this week on how to order that and how to sign up for the giveaway. So if you're, we have a form that Sarah created. We're still playing with it, but we'll get it figured out in the next couple of weeks and do a drawing with my highly impressive spreadsheet that I will no doubtedly create. So
We have no doubt. Yeah.
so that we'll say in like 2 weeks we'll do that and give everybody enough time to sign up.
Let's say 2 weeks. That
Yeah,
sounds
so
good.
that'll be September 15th. Right.
16th, because the podcast comes out on Wednesday. We're recording this on the 1st, but it'll be 2 weeks from when you hear this.
Yes.
So yes, September
Right.
16th for your purposes.
Yes.
So yes, we have merch. You guys have been asking for merch and we finally got it all figured out. I am not a graphic designer, so the designs that you see were basically me doing my best.
I think they look awesome. Yeah.
So, if anybody is a graphic designer, by the way, that is listening to this and wants to help us create some cool stuff, info@disneyparkprincess.com is my email, and I would love some help. But yes, we have face masks, we have phone cases, both iPhone and Droid for Heather. We have tote bags, and we have a coffee mug. And the tote bag and the coffee mug have do less, enjoy more on them. So we're excited. We hope you guys are excited. We hope you guys like this stuff. And so, yeah, the winner of the giveaway gets one item, or one of each item rather. And then you do have to choose between the phone cases. You can get either the iPhone case or the Droid case. And actually, Sharla, we should add that to the form. What type of phone case would you need? So
Sure.
might as well collect that information ahead of time. Plus, it'll help us determine what types of phone cases people need. So anyway, we're super excited about that. But, yeah. So, we should also mention this is open to U.S. residents only. I'm so sorry if you are listening from another country, but there's all kinds of rules about giveaways and things like that. So this is U.S. residents only. All right. News. Who wants to talk about really the only thing in Disney news anybody is talking about this week? Heather, why don't you tell us all about it?
It was a Monday, and Disney decided to surprise us all by releasing news that the Polynesian Village Resort, which was supposed to open in a couple of weeks, is now not going to open until next summer sometime. Which honestly, I was shocked about. Like they've never just closed a resort. Now they're saying this is due to construction. They're going to do some refurbishment on the resort. And they've never done that before. Usually when they're doing construction, the resort stays open. And so this was a bit of a shock, especially for 5 a.m. on a Monday morning. It was a lot.
My favorite is, this is not due to COVID. Well, I mean, it's kind of due to COVID because COVID is the reason you can close an entire resort. But all right, we'll go with that. Yeah.
So the villas at the Polynesian are still open. So those overwater bungalows, and there's one building of deluxe studios. Those will remain open, which is great if you happen to be there. That means the resort's going to be really, really quiet for you.
Right?
Yeah. Well, quiet except for the construction.
Yeah, except for the construction. Yeah. But the monorail station is closing, so that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, so they said
boat also, I read.
They said that they're doing it guest room refurbishment and the great ceremonial house. They didn't mention anything about the pool, so I'm assuming, at least for now, that's going to be open and operational for everyone at the villas.
They just did the pool.
Yeah, like a couple years ago.
6 years ago. Yeah, so, yeah.
And they're doing some retheming a little bit.
Yeah. So. Little Moana thing too. Now, I always love watching people's reactions when they announce something like that, because some people were like, woohoo, Moana. And other people were like, no, I don't want it to be too, changed, or I don't want it to look like Art of It. It's not going to look like Art of Animation. It's still a deluxe resort,
It'll be subtle. It will be.
Well, I'm curious as to what it's going to look like, because I'm of that camp. Like I don't really care what they retheme it to, but why does everything have to have a Disney character? What if I just want to go and stay in a nice hotel? Because go ahead and send me nasty emails if you don't agree with me. But I don't
have to send you an email. I'll tell you right now.
What Disney calls a deluxe resort and what they're charging $700, $800, $900 a night for is not anywhere on par with actual luxury resorts anywhere else in the world. And that's so fair. By taking, and I mean, look, it's Disney. I get it. We want some magical touches, but to then take one of your signature properties that you're charging $800 a night and up for, and then throw a character everywhere, I'm not loving the idea. And I have nothing against Moana. I love Moana. It just, we don't need characters everywhere.
Well, let's see what I want to just see what it looks like before I.
Yeah. I have the opposite reaction. Not the opposite reaction, because I agree with you that what Disney charges, for their deluxe resorts compared to what other, luxury properties around the world. Like I'm completely with you on that one. I don't think they're going to be slapping like big Moanas everywhere. I do think it's going to be very subtle. And one of our complaints about Disney resorts over the last few years is that as they've redone the deluxe resorts, they have stripped all the Disney out of it. And I feel like there has to be.
Oh, see, that hasn't been my complaint.
Not your complaint, my complaint.
I mind the carpets. I mind
the carpets. But I do feel like I've complained about like them taking a lot of the Disney out of it. And there was never a ton, like it was never super in your face at the deluxe resorts, but they have stripped even the most subtle parts of it out recently, So I want a little, like I don't mind a little Disney. I don't want in your face Moana, but I don't mind the hints of it, a theme, of what, like that's completely fine by me.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Heather. I actually wish they would make the deluxe resorts more deluxe.
Yeah. I mean, you can't charge me $900 a night and call it a deluxe resort when I can go to the Four Seasons and just have a much better experience, a luxury experience, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, on the other hand, they have taken like Pop Century and Caribbean Beach and taken a lot of the Disney out of that too. So it's not just the deluxe. It's like, remember how when Pop Century first opened and it had all those shadow boxes on the wall and all those fun things based on what era you're in. And now it's just kind of like plain white.
Yeah.
And it's more sleek for sure, but it's not that same Disney feel as it was.
Alternatively, the Polynesian never had a Disney theme. A lot of Disney
Right.
resorts never had a Disney theme.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was the intention when they were designed. You know, the boardwalk was meant to represent Atlantic City. The Polynesian was meant to represent tropical islands in the Pacific. It was never meant to be, here's Mickey Mouse in your face or whatever. And so when I hear they're taking Disney out of it. Well, Disney was never really there to begin with. Disney's in the theme parks, and the resorts were supposed to represent a different kind of place, time, whatever.
So in this case, they're not taking it away; they're adding to.
Yeah, I see your point on that. I think I get that. You're right.
Yeah.
The Polynesian never did have any Disney to it, so.
But you know what?
Yep.
If you're going to take a character, Moana is perfect for it. It's Polynesia for sure, and everything is. I think it's going to be a really cool thing, and I hope that they just make it a really nice, kind of seamless design. That's what I'm hoping for.
Interesting that they're doing the Great Ceremonial House again, because they just redid that.
I feel like they just did that
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I want to say maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, like just redone. So
What?
maybe they're gonna maybe they'll put the water feature back.
Oh, maybe.
That would be delightful.
Here's what I want to see. Here's what I really want to see. Regardless of theme, anything else, I want to see the rooms brightened up. It's so dark in those rooms. It's I don't know if it's the dark wood, if it's the way it's painted, or just the lighting itself. But I want to see the rooms brightened up. That's been my complaint about the Polynesian for years, is that it's just dark.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they'll change that a little bit, and that will be a good change for sure.
I'm excited to see it. I'm excited, at least it's at least it's on, like, at least it's Moana, and it's not like, I feel like sometimes they stretch it a little bit, when they're trying to slap a theme on something, and at least this time it's,
Well, like when they had some at Caribbean Beach, didn't they have some Nemo rooms for a hot minute?
For a hot second.
I don't
and I was
remember
like,
that at all.
that's not.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
And I
when
was
they
like,
added
that
the
is
pirate rooms,
not
they
the
added Nemo
Caribbean.
rooms. That was before Art of Animation.
Right.
That's how old I am. That's how long I've been doing this.
Yeah. That was.
I remember when they announced the Nemo rooms
Me too,
at Caribbean.
Me too. And I was like, how is this Caribbean at all? It's the opposite side of the world. But
Yeah.
Hey,
But they would. I mean, I don't think they even lasted.
not very long.
They were not there for very long.
No, they were in some of the preferred rooms.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't long at all. In fact,
because then they made Art of Animation. They were like, oh, never mind, nothing to see here. This never happened.
It had completely gone out of my mind until just this minute when you said something about the theming being stretched. But
yeah.
But you know what? We'll just have to go there and stay there and visit the club lounge again one day.
There were not a 14-day quarantine in Connecticut. I swear I would be there so fast, but there is a 14-day quarantine. So anyway, all right. So that's the big news. So Polynesian opening summer 2021, lots of changes happening. If you have a reservation at the Polynesian, because this was the big question yesterday for everybody that had a stay booked at the Poly, Disney will offer you an alternative accommodation. So it might be, depending on your dates, it could be at the Poly Villas, it could be at another deluxe resort. It just depends on a variety of factors. So you got to call Disney, or if you have a travel agent like one of us, well, if it's one of us, you've already heard from us and it's already taken care of. But if it's anybody else, it should still have been already taken care of.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, also, Sara, you started to say it, but then we kind of just went off on our tangent. When the monorail station is closing at the Polynesian, the monorail itself is still running, everybody, because I've gotten lots of panicked phone calls and emails. The monorail is still running. It's just the station at the Polynesian. You just can't pick it up there. So you walk next door. Instead of walking 2 minutes from your room to the Great Ceremonial House, you'll walk 3 minutes from your room to the Transportation and Ticket Center and pick it up right there.
A lot of people don't realize, I think, that you can walk from the Polynesian to the Ticket and Transportation Center stop. And in fact, that's what many people do for Epcot, because you don't want to
faster. Yeah. And it's really, really close. Honestly, it's a 3-minute walk. So don't let that worry you at all.
And sometimes, depending on where your room is, it's even
closer.
faster
Yeah.
to get to the Magic Kingdom to go that way.
Yeah.
So
For the villas in particular, it's closer. Yeah.
But if you're going to the Great Ceremonial House anyway for food or whatever, then might as well. Yeah.
All right. So that was the big news from Disney this week. Coming up next, the topic for this week, part 2 in our series about our favorite attractions. We're getting a little loosey-goosey with the definition of attractions this week, but that's okay. get to decide for yourself what's an attraction. And this week we are going to two of our favorite theme parks. Heather's and my favorite theme park, Epcot. Stay tuned. All right.
It's not necessarily not my favorite theme park.
I know your favorite theme park is whatever one you're in that day, but you admit it. You like Magic Kingdom a little bit more. You do.
Yeah, I do.
Sure, for no other reason than there's a much greater chance that you'll see Mickey Mouse there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Mickey Mouse on the anywhere in the park versus in the character spot.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Parade and anything like that.
Yeah. All right. Epcot. Epcot.
My happy place. Why can't we be there right now?
Didn't work. Yeah. For those of you who are just listening and not watching, I just tried to do the Dream of Genie thing and it was not effective. I'm still in my office in Connecticut, so sucks for me. Yeah. But anyway, if we could, we would all snap our fingers and be there so fast.
Like immediately.
Yes. All right. So, like I said, we're going to we'll just leave it at your favorite thing in Epcot for the purposes of this episode. So,
does Epcot itself just count? Like Epcot is my favorite thing.
Yeah. If only, can you imagine, because everybody knows, right, that Epcot was originally intended by Walt to be an actual community and like a city and like a place where you could live. Can you imagine if that had actually happened?
Oh, I'd be there in a second to live there.
I would not be here. I would not be.
I mean, I lived in Celebration, Florida, which is what the Walt Disney Company kind of took a very tiny, tiny little bit of
the closest thing.
Yeah, like the smallest, smidgiest bit of Walt's Epcot plan, and kind of did that in Celebration, and I had the time of my life. It was fantastic living there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So who wants to go first? What's your, in no particular order, or if you want to go in specific order, I'm not here to tell you what to do. Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, I'll go first because this is going to be on every one of our lists. And we're going to say Soarin'. We're going to go with Soarin'. If I had to pick, I would go with Classic Soarin' / Soarin' over California. But I really like the new one too. I don't care. It's just Soarin' is Soarin', and I love it. And it's just my favorite. It's one of my favorite. Like if I did the top 3 or top 5 in all of Walt Disney World, Soarin' would be on my list for sure. Yeah. So that's mine.
Same.
Okay, so maybe we should just put that as a given and go.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Everything except Soarin'. Yeah, top 3 except Soarin', maybe. But I'm with you though. I would go back to original Soarin' if I could. I like the new one, but it's not the same.
Yeah, I was so excited last year when we got to ride Soarin' over California at Disneyland.
I know.
That was so good. I wanted to keep it there as Soarin' over California all the time.
By the way, we need to find a candle company that just makes sense based on the different scenes in Soarin'.
Yeah. Like a layered candle where you burn it down and then all of a sudden you're at the pine forest, and then all of a sudden you get down to the orange grove, and that would be nice.
It's a good idea. But I would also just settle for like an orange grove candle, a pine grove candle, an ocean, whatever. I'd settle for all of those. And by the way, if there is a candle company out there that's making those, hit us up. We would love to partner with you. Yeah. Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
All right, Heather, what's yours?
I don't have a list because I love everything at Epcot. So I'm just going to start throwing things out, and maybe you guys will like it too. I don't know, but I love literally everything about Epcot, so I don't need a list. So I am going to go with, I'm not going to throw out the obvious one because I know one of you will have it on your list. So I'm going to say something that I think I almost guarantee neither of you have on your list, and I genuinely love this. Mission Space. You have, but the real one, where
the intense version. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That surprised me. I didn't think you would. I love Mission Space, and people get so freaked out about it, understandably. But I don't have motion.
I don't get motion sick. But
I don't have those issues, and I just think it's so much fun. And where else are you going to get to go to outer space? I'm never going to go to outer space. I'm never going to be an astronaut, so that's as close as I'm going to get.
I would love for that to be on my list, but I can't. My husband would love for that to be on my list because he loves that. He loves it. I cannot do it.
You and Justin can sit it out because he went on for the first time last November and he was like, no, that was terrible. I don't feel good.
Yeah. I can't even do
You gotta scream. You gotta
the non-intense one. It's like, I can't do Star Tours. I can't do, like, I can't. I would love to, but I can't. Not anymore.
I love it. I have loved it since the day, like we were there, we happened to be there right after it had opened. And I remember like waiting in line for it and seeing people come off the ride and be very, very, very ill and thinking, maybe I'm not as excited about this one as I thought I was, but I loved it. I have always loved it. And I wrote it before they toned it down.
Yes, remember how like it used to be so cool.
Yeah, does anybody remember OG Mission Space?
Like you really felt like you were floating. Like now you get it a little bit, but like you felt like what?
You're like, oh yeah, like you're
That was the version that we rode on our honeymoon. That was the first time we had ridden it. It had not been open very long by then.
Yeah.
And then I rode it again after when they split it off into and I still couldn't do it. So I would love to be able to do it, but
I love it. It's
fun.
my favorite. Plus, I can't help myself. I want to push every button. I want to flip every switch. I want to
sit down in the pod immediately.
Yes, I immediately start touching everything. I just love it. It makes me so happy. Yeah.
I mean, that part I love. If you could just let me sit still and push everything. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The key to that ride, though, is you have to like cheer or yell or do something during the takeoff, because if you hold your breath or you stop breathing, which is your instinct is to stop breathing, it pushes down on your diaphragm, and that's what makes you feel sick. Pro tip: cheer, yell, scream, do whatever you got to do. Just breathe.
Maybe I could try it again one day, but we'll see.
A giant woohoo will greatly improve your experience. I kid you not. So,
all right.
Yeah. Won't help if you truly are a person that has like vestibular issues or balance issues or things like that, it's not going to help with that. But if you're a person who you get a little queasy, it will help with that. So
yeah.
Nope. All right. Well, you've knocked 2 out of 3 off of my list. So
oh no, so you shouldn't have made a list, and then you can just keep saying things that you like.
So the only one that you guys have not mentioned already that's on my list is Test Track.
Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with Test Track because I love Test Track, but I love real Test Track.
Old Test Track?
And not this Tron type of thing they tried to make it be.
Agreed. I like this pre-show better because I like the interactive design your own car thing.
Oh, I still liked Bill whatever, and he taught me like what we're going to happen. I loved him.
Yeah. I like Test Track too. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like Test Track. I think just that feeling of when the doors open and you like book it right outside the building and everybody.
That's a lot of fun. Yes.
I mean, anybody who has ever ridden this ride has seen what it does to my hair. I don't care. And it's impressive what it does to my hair, but I do not care. It is worth it. I love it. I love the feeling of being outside. I love you get the sun all of a sudden. You can't see, like you're blinded. Like I don't know why I love it so much now that I think about it. Like I'm literally like this in all the pictures. Like
it's just
my hair like way out of here, but it's so much fun.
I miss the like the little like it's not a gag, but like when it was old Test Track and you like came because they didn't really tell you what like okay barrier test, and then you come up and you see the crash test dummy slam into the wall next to you and you're like, what is about to happen to me? And then you just go, like you only have a split second to think about it. I miss that. I miss all of that fun stuff.
I miss the Belgian blocks, like the different road types. Like there'd be one section where it was like, and then there's
like the hot and cold chamber and somebody's eggs frying on something. Test Track used to be a lot cooler. It's still fun.
I still like it. I still like the modern version. I understand why they did it. Also, I have a kid that is obsessed with cars. So I love the post-show area because he will climb. Now he's 16 and, almost has his license. So it's not as thrilling. But when he was little, oh my God, he would get in every single car. He would do every single little video game. They've got like little race games and things after. I mean, we would have to plan, like we would ride the ride, but then we would have to leave like a good half hour or more in the post-ride area.
Yeah.
Or you could drag him out there.
Yeah. Back in the day, we used to be able to get in like through the secret entrance because my father-in-law worked for GM.
Yep.
So that was a lot of fun too. So
Yeah.
Secret thing if you know where to go. Thanks to corporate sponsorships, I guess.
I was about to say, yeah, that's the other reason we missed the corporate sponsorships is that some of us that had family members that worked for those companies got different experiences. Yeah. All right, what's next, Sharla?
Okay, next I'm going to go with something in World Showcase that, again, stretching what the definition of attraction is, but I absolutely love the Mitsukoshi store in Japan. I don't know that I've ever actually bought anything really from there. A few things here and there, but I absolutely love walking through and looking at everything. We even went to the Mitsukoshi store when we were in Japan just to see what it was like. I just think it's a lot of fun, and it is not a trip around World Showcase if I don't spend some time in that store.
I love that store.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a fun store. It was Copley's favorite store because they did the oysters. And so he would get in there and like pull me right to the thing and then stand up and wait for me to pick him up. And he would just stare at the oysters. Like he loved it.
Smell them.
He had to be able to. Like, I don't think they make any smell, but he like would beeline, even like walking around, the beach club where they have the little stand, like right over there. I'm like, you're supposed to be trained. Funny. What is happening? And a lot of people, it took me a really long time to know this. To me, it was a little secret, but I feel like a lot more people know there's a sake bar all the way in the back, which is a lot of fun. That's really cool. And it's not just sake. They have like sake cocktails.
They have plum wine and stuff too.
Yep. Yeah,
but
my best friend is a Hello Kitty collector, so I spend lots of time and lots of money in the Hello Kitty section. Stuff. Yeah,
and they've got that Monchichi stuff, the little.
Do you remember Monchichi?
Yeah,
we were little.
I still call my son Monchichi.
They're in the Japan store.
Yep, I know.
And then but I love the parasols and the kimonos, and it's just always so fun. And
they have the most gorgeous kimonos. I mean. I'm sure somebody must have bought one sometime, but like I'm dying to see somebody
like wear them, walk around,
go through the purchase process because they're gorgeous.
It seems like every time we go in there, they take one and put one on Nora and everything. It's really cute, but they've never pressured us to buy it. They just are like, oh, this is fun, and but my husband likes the swords and the knives and all of that. In the cases, just to look at the different things, but then they have the snacks in the back, and those are
the Pocky.
The Pocky. Pocky's good, and then sometimes you just pick something up off the shelf and it's chips or something, and you're not quite sure what it is. You can do that.
But you must try it.
Yeah. Yep. They have bonsai trees. They have
and then the lucky cats. I love the lucky cats.
The lucky cats. And then they have, after you exit the store, if you exit like by the snacks and the sake bar, on the right-hand side, there is a museum, and that has changed throughout the years. It's been what it is for quite a while now. It's like a pop art type thing, but it used to be a tin toy museum, like kind of a robot thing. Yeah.
That was cute. I like that one.
Yeah. It's just a really neat store. I really like it.
Yeah, you could really spend a lot of time in there.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of stores in the World Showcase that are like that. Maybe not quite as detailed or crazy products, but like the store in the China Pavilion, all the different stores in Germany. Like if you really just took your time and take your time and wander. Like there's so many fun things. Even if you don't buy anything, it's just cool to see.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, Heather, what's next?
Okay, nobody tell me that this is not an attraction, because my favorite thing at Epcot is the Food and Wine Festival. It is the greatest thing on the planet. It is an attraction in and of itself. When I go to Food and Wine Festival, I don't ride any rides and I don't eat at any restaurants, and maybe I'll go into other stores, but I am there for food and wine, and I want to go to the special events and eat at all the food booths. It is the greatest thing on the planet. The best.
All right.
No one's arguing.
I was going to say, nobody argue with me about that. It is my favorite thing. I think that's legitimately my favorite thing.
I'm going to ask you a question then. I'm not arguing because I don't disagree. However, why do you prefer Food and Wine over Flower and Garden, let's say?
I think Flower and Garden is beautiful because who doesn't like looking at all the gardens and the topiaries? But for me, I am a foodie. And even though now all the festivals have food booths, there's not as many options. There's not as many food booths. The particular foods at the food booth, like maybe there's only 2 or 3, and they're all different themes. So maybe people at food or for Flower and Garden, you don't realize that it's more focused on foods that can be grown, which again, I have no problem with. I'm vegan pretty much 99% of the time. So that's great. But like, if I really want to try food, try something new, something different, I'm going to Food and Wine Festival. And then there's also the special events, not happening this year, but generally, you know, there's food and wine pairing lunches, wine tastings, party for the senses. Like, I love it.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's a reasonable distinction between the festivals. And I really do also prefer Food and Wine. I can't necessarily put my finger on why. I mean,
because wine.
Yeah.
Wine.
Well, yeah, but I can
I was about to say, I can.
I can get wine during Flower and Garden. I mean, I can get it.
I think Flower and Garden, and then whatever the summer one they started doing, and then the Festival of the Arts, and then the Christmas one. Like, the food is an afterthought there. They're basically just selling it because they make a lot of money. It's not the focus, though, and so.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. All right, very good.
I'm so excited. It's Food and Wine. Okay, sorry.
All right, so I adjusted my list since you guys have taken all of mine already. And I don't even know if this still exists. I don't think it does. I think they've done away with it, but I really loved the Kim Possibles, which became Phineas and Ferb, which is becoming something. I love that thing.
For those of you who don't know now, or it's supposed to be DuckTales?
I think it's going to be, yeah, I think the next iteration when it reopens will be DuckTales. That's fine. Although if you've not watched Kim Possible, it's available on Disney Plus, so you should absolutely go back and watch it. I started at the very beginning and I love it so much. So good. It's just this scavenger hunt around the World Showcase, and it's really interactive, and it's a great thing to do with kids, and it's a great thing to do without kids. it's you get to see parts of like the World Showcase that you had never noticed, and it's like you're just like in on the secret, and I love it.
I'm right there with you. I loved that. I would hours upon hours playing it.
Yep.
Yeah. No, anytime they have some sort of scavenger hunt, like I love the little Remy hide and squeak and that they'll have and things like that. So
yep.
But the good thing about the Kim Possible, Phineas and Ferb DuckTales is it's free, and with like hide and squeak you have to pay for the little map. So if you're looking for something to do that is not expensive or is free, then.
And it's fun if you've never done it before. Like, you may have been wandering World Showcase and not realized things that are happening. But if you've never done it, it's like fun little surprises that happen. Like, oh, you see, Agent P pop up over here. All of a sudden, you're handed this thing and you have to go here. It's a lot of fun.
Really fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it takes you into parts of the pavilion that you might not otherwise wander into naturally. So it sort of forces you to explore the different countries, which I think is my favorite thing about it, because all of a sudden you'll go down this little alley that you didn't even know was there. Or, it's just very cool.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Sharla, do you have one more?
I do. Yes, I will go with Spaceship Earth.
That was my first one. I'm like, no, somebody's going to say it.
Yeah, I really do like Spaceship Earth. I preferred in its form where when you ride backwards,
the room is burning.
Well, no, like when you ride backwards, you get to see the stuff instead of the screen.
Yeah.
And I know they're going to update it at some point. I don't know with the pandemic stuff what's going.
Shelved.
Yeah, but I hope that whenever they do update it, they will put that back in. But I still love it. I will ride it every time. When I took one time the Undiscovered Future World tour, they told me that Spaceship Earth is the most ridden attraction of Walt Disney World.
Really?
Now, that was several years ago. Don't know if like Galaxy's Edge has changed that. Don't know if anything else has changed, but that's what they told me when I took that tour. And that was so that was like 10 years ago. But still, I mean,
I can see that. I mean, it's the icon of, I'm going to embarrass Justin here, but like he thought Epcot, like when he was younger, like he thought Epcot was Spaceship Earth, and that was it. And then I brought him there, and I'm like,
Ta-da.
there's a whole place here. But like, I can see that it's such an icon.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I heard. So
I love that ride. It's a classic, and I'm surprised it didn't pop to the top of my list because I love it so much, but it was not one of the first things I thought of. So I guess
Not a favorite.
Not a favorite, apparently. All right, Heather. One more.
I am gonna go. This one is actually very strange for me to say this is my favorite. But I really love the Seas Pavilion. And it is strange because I am terrified of the ocean.
I was about to say.
But I actually
what's wrong with this?
am very afraid of the Seas with Nemo and Friends ride. I'm very afraid of that. Don't ask. It's no point in even unpacking that. But the actual pavilion.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, I need like a therapy or session or something. I don't know. But for the actual pavilion, I love kind of the retroness of it. I mean, I'm still here for a hydrolator if they had those. But what I love is if you spend some time, and again, this is a theme with Epcot, most people go on the ride, maybe they run through the aquarium for 2 minutes and they're out. But there are so many demonstrations throughout the day. Like I've sat for, 35 minutes and watched them train some dolphins. I have watched them do a fish feeding where they, just all the fish in the big aquarium go crazy. I've watched them give a talk and feed the manatees. Sometimes you'll notice there's that giant column in the middle of the pavilion. They fill it with water and they teach you how people scuba dive in it. I mean, like there's so much to see and learn. You could spend 3 hours there and just never get bored. And I love that.
Prior to the Atlanta Aquarium being built, it was the largest aquarium in the United States.
And
then Atlanta came along and stole the crown, but whatever.
Atlanta has a really cool aquarium.
I'm sure, but
yeah, it's very cool. But no, I agree. The Seas it's really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And you're right. It's another one that I think people hustle right out of, and there's so much to see in there.
Yeah, we did the ride. We're off the ride. Come on, we have to get to the next thing.
Yeah.
But
or they get off the ride and they go directly to Turtle Talk with Crush.
Yeah,
and skip the rest of the pavilion. Yeah.
There's so much to see and do. And it's like, if you have kids, they would sit there for an hour and just watch the fish. And you just have to explore.
Yep.
Plus it's air conditioned. So let them sit there and you sit there and enjoy.
Yeah. Take your time.
I'll just be over here. Come get me when you're ready.
Plus, I also love like all the hidden Mickeys and things like in the aquarium itself. Like it's a lot of fun. Yep. Yeah. All right, for my last one, and people are probably going to laugh at me for this, but I have to add it because it really is just a sentimental favorite. I love Living with the Land.
I really wanted to say that.
I love Living with the Land so much. I know it's corny, and I know some people find it super boring, but I love it. I actually think it's really fascinating. I love the fact that the greenhouses are used, like they're not just it's not a prop, like the research it's like, yes, it's a ride, but it's also an actual greenhouse and research facility. Like they're actually doing experiments. They're actually working on things that they can do to help our planet and help agriculture and hydroculture and all these kind of cool stuff. And it's just the geek in me just loves it so much. Plus it's super relaxing and also bonus for being air conditioned.
Yeah. Also, it changes. Like every time you go through, there are new plants there.
Depending on season and
And even if it's you ride it the same season 2 years in a row, it's probably something different. Yep. I love it. It's also one of my top ones for sure.
Throwing back to the Food and Wine Festival, if you ride it during the Food and Wine Festival, they'll put little markers up and tell you what dishes and what little kiosk in the festival marketplaces that particular plant is used in.
Yep. Yeah. Plus, I love the holiday decorations. If you have not ridden it near like Halloween or Christmas, it's fantastic because they like do things in the greenhouse and stuff to sort of dress it up for the holidays, and it's hilarious.
Justin loves it. He's right there with you because he's a gardener and he thought it was like he's like, this is so cool. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, I think that does it. We've each done at least 3. We could keep going, by the way. Like
we should again, Epcot. All of Epcot is my favorite thing.
Shopping at Epcot is my favorite thing. Eating at Epcot is my favorite thing. Drinking at Epcot is my favorite thing. Yeah.
Just park me at Epcot for a week and
Yep.
come and get me when you're ready to go to the airport. I'll be there.
Completely fine. Yeah,
For sure.
fine.
Here is, I'm just going to go off on a tangent before we finish. Here is what I'm the most sad about that we don't have park hoppers right now is because I would always, no matter what park, where I went for that day, I would always find myself at night, whether it's for dinner or just like a quick little cocktail before I go back to the hotel. Every day I would find myself at the end of the day in Epcot, and I'm so bummed that I can't do this and I have to like actually plan my days. Like, and honestly, this morning before the podcast, I was thinking, do I have enough time at Epcot in October? I don't think I have enough time there. But if I want to see another theme park,
Right.
I have to give up a day there.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. I don't like that
Heartbreaking.
part of it. I want everything to go back to normal.
I
People
know.
just put on your masks, please.
You just put on a mask and stay home. That'd be great. Thanks.
That'd be
Okay, bye.
fantastic. Yeah, if you could do that for the next, say 6 weeks, and then we could just all go back to normal. That would be fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us for episode 96 of the Disney Park Princess podcast, our second anniversary episode. Creeping up on 100 episodes. That's kind of crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
A little nutso. Don't forget our giveaway. So a couple places where you can find the form. It will be posted in our Facebook group. If you have not joined our Facebook group, this is a very good reason to do so. Go to facebook.com, search under groups for Disney Park Princess. You can also go to our page, facebook.com/Diz Park Princess, DIS Park Princess. That's our page, and there should be a link to the group on there. Make sure that you're subscribed to our newsletter. So if you go to DisneyParkPrincess.com, you can subscribe on our website. And again, this is just for U.S. residents only. I'm very sorry because I know that we do have quite a few international listeners. So sorry, but we love you. If you are a Patreon member, you get a discount on merchandise. So the first level gets 5%, second level gets 10%. Top level gets 15%. We actually told our Patreon members about the merchandise a week ago. They got a sneak peek at it. They got first dibs. But if you can still join and you can still get the discount. The discount is a permanent thing. It is not a limited time thing. That's always going to be one of the perks of being a Patreon subscriber. So you can go to patreon.com/Disney Park Princess and click to subscribe. It's what helps support this podcast. It helps support our website, and it helps us continue to create content. So thank you. And we will be back next week. Next week, are we doing Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom?
Hollywood Studios.
Hollywood Studios. That's what I figured.
You have to go in order.
Go in order. Okay. All right. So stay tuned. Next week, if you're a Patreon, stay tuned if you're a Patreon subscriber for your Patreon Extra, which is going to be about the newest attraction coming to Epcot, Ratatouille, because we have all ridden it. And we're very excited to talk about it. So stay tuned for that and join us next week for episode 96, our favorite attractions at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Bye, guys.
Bye.